the Ten of Swords books. These we are here. This is the end. We have 3 of the final parts of the story. We're going to start with X-Men number 15, part 20 of 22. Last we left off, Apocalypse and Annihilation were going to face off in the final battle of the contest. Whatever.
No bullshit. Straight up.
Yeah, we're going to fight. It's not some weird, I don't know, hot dog eating competition.
Yeah, right. Laser tag or some dumb shit.
We cut over to Krakoa. Cyclops is just looking at the mountains, and Jean Grey shows up. He's like, "Are they ready?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they talk about some stuff for a while. And it's like, "Man, we had everything we ever dreamed of. So it's time for us to fucking fight for it, I guess." And it turns out that they have assembled a meeting with the Quiet Council, the ruling governing body of the Krakoan nation. And that's when we cut back over to the other world, where Apocalypse and Annihilation are about to square off. I figured that you would enjoy this little couple panels where Apocalypse is being real sad, just being a sad boy. If I am to die,
gets sadder and sadder every chapter.
Where he goes,
issue.
He goes, if I am to die, and die at your hand, is it really to be like this, with your face hidden from me behind that mask? And Annihilation just goes, yes, but
she's like, no,
don't worry. She just takes it off, and she's like, nah, it's just gonna be me and you. I'm gonna show you how soft you are compared to me, who is not soft. And we cut over to the Quiet Council, where basically they're explaining their case from what they learned from Cable about what's going on the other side. They're basically saying like, yo, we don't know for sure, but from what I got from Cable, they are losing pretty badly, and because of the rules we agreed upon, that just means we have to take their fucking invasion when they lose. So, we should do something about that. And everybody's like, I don't know about that. Cyclops essentially wants to lead a strike team into the other world and just take their people and bounce and destroy the gates. And everybody's like, this is like a debating of the case where they're just like, I mean, we don't want to lose people either, but we're going to lose more people if we let you just take a whole ton of people into Otherworld, because if they die there, then there's no really coming back.
Yeah.
And they pass a bunch of motions like amongst themselves, like Sinister and this other dude, I keep forgetting his name.
Exodus.
They're basically like...
Exodus brought up some good points.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, they're saying... All right. Like you said with Cyclops, right? He wants to go and get the mutants, save them. Exodus is like, look, like that's a threat because like that's a threat to our security. Because what if you don't come back? What if you guys die? Right? Mm-hmm. Are we supposed to wait and keep these gates open only for the massive army of Ammon to invade Krakoa and destroy us all? Mm-hmm. So he was, He's like, there was there was 2 votes that was passed, right? The first vote was
that if any
about the gates.
Yeah, actually, I think the first vote was about like if any of the Quiet Council decides to go, then they give up their seat in the Quiet Council.
Yeah, that was a huge detail.
Yeah.
Now, is Cyclops and Jean Grey both on the council?
No, I think just Jean is. Cyclops is just like a military captain.
Yeah, he's a captain like Magic. Okay, so Jean Grey is. And Apocalypse is.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody, and Kurt wants to go. Nightcrawler, my boy.
Yeah, and he's like, I felt the way I wasn't included in that.
My whole thing's is swords. I'm a swordsman.
I was thinking in my head, bro, you ain't miss a motherfucking thing. Believe that.
Yeah, I'm like, they didn't even use swords.
Kurt. Your ass would have been playing Ping the Tail on a Donkey or some wild shit. Or Solitaire. I don't know, man. Like, obviously, I still have an attitude about that.
Magical Solitaire.
About the magical competition, but...
Yeah. So, but yeah, as Josh said, Exodus brings up the point. Is like, yo, we should just... We're gonna take more losses if we bring you there. Like, because we got to leave the gates open. And if you guys don't come back, we'll never know if they're coming to us. So I think we should just destroy these gates. And Cyclops is like, you could do that if you want. I'm gonna go get my kid.
Basically, that's what it boiled down to. There was a lot of nice language there that I don't want to spend too much time going over, but it came down to there was actually some text after this too. There was a text page that talked about this little subject, but
yeah,
Cyclops is basically saying, listen, at the end of the day, I'm an X-Men. We go and save people. That's what the fuck we do. And
Dude.
I could give a damn about these consequences. They're minute. I'm going to save people. Peace.
Yeah, first of all,
Bye.
this
Close the gates. Fuck y'all.
this kind of like resurrected
My son's in
Cyclops to
trouble.
me. I was so happy like to have this like cool fucking moment for him.
Yeah, not
It's-
Edward Phoenix rule the world.
It's been a
Cyclops.
long road for Scott Summers, man. And for him to come back here and finally like have his core values back, you know, just like, yeah, I'm the leader. I'm not a governing body like you guys are. I am an X-Man through and through, to my bones. We save people. That's all we do. So
Yeah.
I'm going over to save my mutant friends.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to get back.
Yeah, Jean is like, oh no, wait, Kitty wants to go, but they're like, we're going through gates, you can't go.
He's like, oh.
You're right.
That was really funny.
And they convince Kurt to stay because he's kind of the soul of this group. He's like the council, the Quiet Council's conscience, essentially. So they're like, look how fucked up this was, even with you here. Imagine if you're not here. You know, how bad would that be? But yeah, he stays, Kitty stays, and yeah, Cyclops gives his inspirational speech, and they fuck off.
It
we
leaves a vacant seat open.
Yeah, well, Jean does.
A vacant? That's I said the same thing
Vacant seat. Yeah, no, you
2
did it.
times.
Vacant seat. And yeah, that little text page pops up regarding the term the X-Men, like when they established Krakoa,
Yeah.
that they kind of did away with it in a way.
Yeah, they essentially abolished it.
Yeah, where they're like,
And it made a lot of sense
yeah,
for what their goal is anyway, with unifying everybody. X-Men was a stigma. It was, and also sort of a prejudice because it's not, because some people associate X-Men with all mutants, which, that's not the right thing to do. And plus, X-Men is more of a glorified term. It's more prestigious, especially amongst the hero community. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to mutant or Krakoan. So they just wanted to do away with it. They don't call themselves that.
they are Krakoans.
And they're gonna ignore it and not acknowledge it when others call them that.
Yeah.
But Cyclops didn't give a fuck. He grabbed his nuts and said, "Nigga, I'm an X-Man. Peace." I liked it, yo.
Yeah, it was great.
Pretty exciting. This is almost a VGI, but Daredevil was just
Yeah.
very good,
I feel that.
as it always is. Yeah.
Oh
well.
So Apocalypse and Genesis are fighting. She doesn't have the Annihilation mask anymore, so it's just them fighting each other. And she shatters the Scarab blade, and I'm like, at first I was like, oh, here we go. Apocalypse already lost.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn,
Brody.
And he's like, whatever, I will not yield. And he just dodges her next slash, takes her sword, and just cuts her. He's like, I'm not that soft, I swear.
That's
Real
it. See.
Real quick, I actually like
Think
the
of
way
you
the
got-
panels are set up. It actually looks. These are some pretty nice action panels here.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, right. Too bad there's only 8 of them.
So Genesis is on the floor like, finish me. And Apocalypse is like,
Please, just
finish me before the shame kills me. And he's like,
Before
shame?
the chicken, before the embarrassment makes me want to just kill myself.
The embarrassment of getting got by you.
Yo, what a bitch! What a rude person, yo.
For real, man.
Jeez, we established this already. I won't harp on it.
So Apocalypse is like, shame. The shame would be me warring for thousands of years to see you again, and this be the end of it. And then he turns to Saturday and says, I don't want this. And Saturday's like, yeah, no, I don't care what you want. Everybody's just so mean to Apocalypse.
She's like trying to outdo each other.
It's so funny.
She's watching the whole time. She was like, that was a nice line. I gotta. I gotta come back with something.
I don't care.
I don't care. Kill your wife.
Annihilation starts calling to Genesis, and when you wear the helmet of Annihilation, you're just kind of controlled by it as long as your will. Like Genesis could resist it for so long because her willpower is like pretty strong, but with her dying on the floor, I guess it's a moment of weakness she took advantage of. She puts on the Annihilation mask, and Annihilation fully kind of takes over the body of Genesis, and that's where X-Men number 15 leaves off, and that's when we start with getting the issue up. Excalibur number 15.
Excalibur.
Soul Eater.
I'm headed to California.
Yeah, Apocalypse is in California right now. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know either. This is not California.
Doesn't it look like he's in California?
Yeah. No.
No.
It looks like he's in a Dorito chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, nacho one.
We start off
Anyway.
at the Starlight Citadel, where shit just immediately popped off. Like, there's no real transition from when Annihilation becomes Annihilation, and the hordes of Amenth just pull through and just start fucking everything up.
Yeah.
It's just it's just like starting. Everybody's fighting in the background, and Apocalypse is just getting shit talked to by Annihilation. But she gets like zapped by Storm. Storm pulls through. Is like, hey, we have to get the fuck out of here. I don't know why you're just standing there, Apocalypse, being sad, but we gotta go. And Apocalypse is like, I will not run from my wife. But Cypher is like,
as they yoke him up, they're like, nigga, let's go.
we gotta go.
You out of your mind?
I like this line from Cypher.
Yeah. Cypher's like, are you nuts, buddy? I would totally run from my wife. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder why you even got married.
Yeah, right. Apocalypse he was so offended by that, by the fact that Cypher had anything to say to him.
Yeah, it's just like when Cable questioned it. He's like, "Don't judge me."
Yeah, right.
Apocalypse just calls Cypher a simp.
He called him a simpering, and he ... He was stopped, but probably simp. Yeah, sure.
He definitely just called him a simp.
I mean, he is. We'll find out.
I didn't know.
Child, you simpering.
So the rest
Child,
of the
you
Iraqi,
simp.
the rest of the Iraqi main Iraqi champions are just sitting by and watching all this happen. And Pog is back. He didn't completely lose his form. I'm pretty happy about that.
You got his sword back.
Yeah, he got his sword back. He's in his full big dumb alligator form. And yeah, they're just looking around and fucking White Sword has had enough of this garbage. He's like, I came here for a fight. I didn't come here for a war. This is dumb. I'm out. I'm taking my friends and I'm going home. Yeah, he basically Iska's like, what's the matter? You scared? How many of your precious knights had to die before you stopped that blind old lunatic? He's like, don't be talking about my man Gorgon, okay?
Yeah, right. You need to watch your fucking mouth. I'll smack the shit out of you. I know that's what he said. They didn't write that there, but he said that.
Yeah.
Real quick.
First of all,
before I become White Sword the Unbeaten.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Well, I snatch your whole world from you.
Poggy's getting lazy. He literally just rhymes stupid with stupid like 4 times. Like,
because he's mad. Because he feels the same way Chris and I does. Where it's like, what the fuck is going on? What just happened?
But he could like get a little creative with his wordplay, you know?
Nah.
He's like,
bro, imagine being in a war. Listen, I mean, all right. Imagine being in a one-on-one fight with somebody, right? Listen, just imagine being on a one-on-one fight with somebody, and then thousands of homeboys pull up and start getting it popping.
Well, they're not fighting against.
What
the
are you
Emmons.
gonna say? You're probably not gonna be able to say anything.
Stupid.
No, they're not fighting against the
White Sword
Emmons.
agree with him, so it's lit.
They're not fighting against the Emmons. The Emmons are there on their side, basically. They're just. It's only the White Sword who's like, "This is dumb. I'm out of here," and I'm like, "Cool. He won't die in this event." I'm pretty stoked about that. And everything's like falling apart. Saturnine just goes back into the Starlight Citadel, with this guy, with Shogo following her, and he takes out she takes out the shards of Captain Britain and starts assembling them again.
Like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, just chill too. She's got no like sense of urgency. She's down there like, here we go. One piece.
How she's laying on the
two
how
pieces.
she's lounging on the ground.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the mutants are out there fighting for their lives, and Captain Avalon starts like yelling at Apocalypse. Is like, "Yo, how could you not think that this could go terribly wrong?" And Apocalypse, defensive as ever, is just like, "I've thought about this for 1,000 years. Don't tell me anything." And that's when Bay the Blood Moon comes in, tackles fucking Avalon to the ground because she came by to save Cypher, essentially. She uses her Doom Note, blowing away everyone, and she just bounces with Doug Friend. Meanwhile, we come back to Saturnine just chilling still, having a glass of wine, making this thing, putting the pieces together. And, it's not looking great for the mutants. They're getting surrounded on all sides. But that's when Jubilee pulls up with the what are they called? The sentries or something?
Arrow Ladies.
Yeah, the Arrow Ladies, the priestesses of the green priestesses, I guess, the ones that don't really fucks with Saturnine herself. They pull up and they start helping out the X-Men. But they're not for long. She's just like, yeah, I know, like, this is shitty, but we kind of gotta go. Our duty is to the Starlight Citadel. Although we don't follow Saturnine, our job is to protect the Citadel, so we gotta bounce. Sorry, Jubilee.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Jubilee.
Sorry,
and Jubilee's like,
at least we brought you here, though, right?
Yeah, and Jubilee's like, man, I guess okay, but if I die here, please take care of my dragon son. And they're like, okay.
He already knows Al, so
yeah, do the thing.
Stay here in this magical land with him.
Meanwhile, Doug Friend finally gets put down by Bay the Blood Moon, and he basically pleads with her. He's like, yo, we got to go back and help my friends, and you can come with me and live with me on Krakoa. It'll be cool. Our friends will accept you. And, she shows up, and she's like, yeah, okay. She runs back with Cypher, and finally the army is just surrounding them. Just like, all right, it's over, guys. You guys lost. There's no way you're gonna win. And just when hope seems like most lost, that's when I'm a little confused about how this works, but that's because I'm also not very familiar with the Captain Britain mythos. Saturnine finally puts all the pieces together, and the pieces all create this like weird chapel glass image of Betsy Braddock as Captain Britain, and she's tight because this means like, yeah, for real, she's the Captain Britain. You got to get over yourself. But this also manages to resurrect the entire Captain Britain Corps, and that's where this issue ends.
I guess that's really cool.
I mean,
if you was a Captain Britain Corps fan, whoa!
I mean, I understand their significance. I guess now, like, the X-Men have made me appreciate their significance, like, in the grand scheme of things, that they're like the Green Lantern Corps for the multiverse.
Sure.
But
they're all British.
Yeah, and every single one of them is British. But yeah, that was Excalibur, and which leads us to the finale of Ten of Swords. 10 of Swords, Destruction. This is part 22 of 22. And we pick up where we left off. The Captain Britain Corps is resurrected, and they all come down and help the X-Men. Now they have a fighting chance. They've got a bigger army of stronger folks. But Annihilation summons more summoners to summon more things. Summon more Ament demons to help out. While this is all happening, Cable is like brought out on a stretcher. I'm like, didn't just your arm get broken? Why?
Yeah, right. You should be alright right
just
now.
Like, oh no, my arm.
Because he's a boy.
He's just a boy.
He's just a boy.
Yeah, as he's being stretchered over to where Saturnine is, he gets a call from his dad. He's like, "Yo, I'm on my way, son. Don't worry." And Cyclops can also reach Magic, and basically tells her just like, "So I guess things are getting pretty shitty, and we're gonna need you to open a portal to help us get through." And Magic does that. She seems to use all of her energy to open up a portal, which brings in the fucking sword station from the sky, and along with that, so many mutants from Krakoa.
This art is fucking nuts, by the way.
I mean, I wanted to save this little thing to the end, but this is one of the most beautiful comic books I've ever read, just from an artistic standpoint. I believe this is like Pepe Larraz who drew this. I'm so happy.
This book, right? The Exotour's Destruction.
Yeah, he did.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's Pepe Larraz, but there's also like color artists, Marte Garcia, Clayton Cowles' letters. Design is Tom Mueller. They're fucking killing it on this book, first and foremost.
This is like Endgame.
Yeah.
This is like Endgame, but X-Men.
Yeah.
Yo, Gwenpool pulled up.
Yeah, Gwenpool's there.
You
have big cool action pages everywhere. Pog is getting like is fighting Domino and Gwenpool I see there, and a bunch of other people. Cyclops is taking down some stuff with Wolverine and Magic. It's all cool for a while, and then we cut over to Apocalypse where he's fighting he's fighting Annihilation, and man, these panels in particular are pretty intense in terms of like facial emotion, where Apocalypse is just like literally yelling like, "Surrendering and losing is not the same thing. I can heal the breach. I can make all of us whole. I can make us whole." And Genesis underneath the mask is saying, "You don't understand. I'm so tired of this fight. I am Annihilation." And Annihilation fully takes over even more. Calls more summoners.
It's like Majora's Mask.
Yeah. Calls more summoners. They summon more big monsters. And Cable's just like,
looking really bad.
Yeah, Cable's just like, "Damn, we lost." And this is like cool. I really liked how this went out. This Saturn is like, "What card were you dealt, boy?" And Cable's like, "The fool." Yeah, he said, and she says, "Yes, a fool with a sword, and only a fool will think that is what he is actually holding." And that's when it all comes together, and in Cable's head is like, "Oh fuck!" And he calls Cyclops, and he's like, "Yo, Dad, come pick me up. We gotta go." And they go into the sword station, into that familiar ball that we've seen before.
Yeah.
They use the sword, the Light of Galador, to open it, and that fucking portal full of that human monster virus stuff just comes out and starts fucking everything up. Only the bad guys, though, because I guess.
Well, I guess, yeah.
I guess
the X-Men kind of just started playing defense and backed away.
Yeah. One of them starts talking just like, "We have suffered in a dead realm for far too long, picked its bones, examined it fully. We now seek Yeah. We now seek a heartier meal." And Annihilation's like, "Oh yeah, you want a heartier meal? Come get me, boy." And while she's distracting, Apocalypse just body slams her to the ground, pulls off the Annihilation mask, and just puts it on himself, it looks like. Oh, no, it puts itself onto Apocalypse. And now Apocalypse has the Annihilation mask. Yeah, and while the battles continue onward, Apocalypse is essentially in a battle of wills with the Annihilation mask. And we see that there's this little moment where Iska turns, so I guess she switches sides because she cannot be beaten. And I'm confused.
Has been thoroughly established.
Who's she holding? Pyro? No.
Yeah.
Why is she holding? I guess she just defeated.
Because she's picking him up from being.
From being defeated, and then she's like,
She's like, "Move, nigga."
Yeah. And Pestilence and Famine are like, "Iska the Unbeaten, she's turned. We cannot win." I mean, I guess turncoat as a power is pretty cool. So essentially, Apocalypse surrenders as Annihilation. And because he surrenders, the entire Amenth army surrenders. Because he who rules the helmet rules the army. So now that it's a full surrender,
the rule of Amenth.
Yeah, and now that it's all set, Saturnine could come out and kind of referee the situation, where she comes out on Shogo. She's like, "Are you sure you surrender?" And he's like, "Yay." And he's like, "All right, cool. Let's find out. Let's settle all the accounts." So basically, she pulls the mask off of Apocalypse and transforms it into this cool like spear thing. And she says, "Otherworld stands triumphant. Krakoa survives. Arako, vassal of Amenth, yields. But I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with y'all existing. So I'm gonna have to require one mutant from each side to leave their home and live on the other side." So Apocalypse.
It's real dramatic, but
Apocalypse.
So, yeah, of course, it's gonna be Bay the Blood Moon, right?
No, Apocalypse stays behind. To go to I guess Amenth with Genesis and the kids and his kids, and to switch over to Krakoa side is the mutant island of Arako.
What?
The smart loophole.
So they have 2 islands?
It's all one island.
yeah.
Which was kind of the purpose of this whole thing for Apocalypse, is to reunite the island into one. So, and it's not just Arako itself, like the island itself. It's everyone, I think, every mutant who's
600
who lives
prisoners there, which are mutants.
I think it's all the other mutants, too, that live there. Like, not just the prisoners. Like, Solemn gets to transfer over. Bay the Blood Moon gets to move over.
Yep.
So, and Saturday is like, "Oh, pretty sneaky, Apocalypse." Even I didn't see that coming. So, yeah, she's like, "All right, cool. The islands are united. Apocalypse fuck off." And Cyclops goes over to Apocalypse. Is like, "Hey, do you want me to say anything to Xavier now that you're just bouncing?" And he's like, "Yes. I'll see you in another event, probably."
By the way, I just want to say that Apocalypse Annihilation form looked pretty dope.
It was cool.
It was pretty cool. Boy, did his face look crusty, though.
Yeah. We learned through a couple of these little paragraphs where I guess we learn of the fates of all these swords. Yeah, some of them get to the crooked mark. Yeah.
Damn.
It even gave him. It even his long lips were imprinted on. The eyes, if you really look close,
there was nothing Annihilation could do about that.
Essentially, swords get scattered. They show the exact locations of where everybody ended up. And we also learned that Betsy Braddock from our universe did not resurrect along with the Captain Britain Corps. She was left unaccounted for herself. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't that attached to
her. I guess.
But for the Betsy Braddock fans, oh man,
it's
Can
interesting.
We get the drop.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Wait, which one?
Do the Mario one.
Oh.
Is that only for confirmed deaths?
Yeah, that is only for confirmed deaths, Josh.
But she's confirmed dead.
She's confirmed not accounted for.
Oh, okay. I messed up.
They didn't say dead.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we get this little epilogue where basically it's closing all these little threads. And the fish assistant lady that follows Saturnine around everywhere is like, "Yeah, look, I know you know everything and you see everything, but also, did you really know what was about to go down here?" And she's like, "Yeah, but there were some things I couldn't see coming, but there was some stuff for sure I knew. I know that husband and wife would be pitted against each other, a mother or child would be tried to reunited at all costs. The 10th sword would rain from the heavens, and only to wait the 10th sword, which is the sword fucking station itself, would descend from heaven only to return at the dawn of a new age. The 9th sword would be returned back to Wakanda, which is Storm Sword. I guess everything's cool there. Like she just got back.
Kinda, not really.
Maybe we'll get more a deeper look into what that means for Storm down the road. And she also saw that like the Mutant Council will see its first cracks. The first 2 cracks in that firmament, which I guess would be Jean and Apocalypse. Because neither of them have a seat on the council anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. She mentioned something about Avalon. I'm not sure how much we're supposed to glean from that. Avalon being the soul.
Solon being sneaky in the background, right? Is that Solon?
Is that him? I'm not sure. So. Yeah, there's someone sneaky in the background, but I don't think it's Solon because he would be just teleported with the Rocco to Earth. So he wouldn't need to do all this shit. But they do mention that Avalon is kind of the sole ingress and egress to Earth. So I guess the external gate is no more, really.
Yeah.
But they do have the one gate in Avalon.
Yeah, the Avalon one. They worked really hard for, I guess. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And they had the lighthouse and all of that.
Yeah. She mentioned that like when she got rid of all the virus people from the sword station by throwing them into the Blight Spoke along with the summoners, which is crazy because like the summoners are going to tame the things that refuse to die there, while the Vescora, the virus people from the sword station, are going to mine untold riches hidden in the center in the strata of dead universes. Oh, that's really eerie.
Yeah.
The bartering of which, and from those little mining things, it will dominate the wild plans of the bent mind of he who runs the crooked market, and Death is still pissed off from being murdered and eaten alive, I guess.
Sebaleth with the fake vampires.
Yeah. So, and the fish lady is like, oh, also, you got the fucking Captain Britain cords back. I bet you're real happy about that. And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, you won. Congratulations, my lady. You really came out on top of this. And the narration, though, says another story. Is that, the white light, both fair and foul kingdom, and of both fair and foul kingdoms, and the eternal seat of the Starlight Citadel, who in her dominion had won everything she had ever needed, but not the thing she truly wanted, which is Brian Braddock, being with her. And she is just alone. So, emotionally, she is the loser in this competition because she doesn't get Brian back. And I guess that's why she was...
Goal? Was that one of her goals?
Well, I guess she was hoping that, like, with Betsy gone, like, Brian would have no choice to come back. That, like, the stars, the shit that she was putting together would show Brian instead of Betsy. But it showed Betsy because she had earned the title of Captain Britain from Brian. So that's why she's most disappointed. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. And that's basically 10 of Swords, you guys. All right. This was a roller coaster emotionally for me, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of what I expected, I guess like this was just a game of expectations, and it wasn't what we were expecting, but I don't know. I feel like the end was cool. And when I'm thinking about it, it's just, I should have seen it coming, I guess.
I like the writing in X-Men, like the first issue. And then, I felt like, well, you want to finish your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted, I guess we didn't get really what we wanted, which was like this cool concept of a battle story. But I can't bring myself to say it's bad. I was excited reading the X of Swords Destruction. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, it was pretty lit. The huge battles and stuff, and not knowing what was gonna become of what, And
there's more implications to what that means for the future of this run. It's not like this is the last story, and that's what kind of saves it, is that like this isn't the final story of Jonathan Hickman's run. In fact, this is probably just the beginning because he seems to have really long plans for what this is. So I'm not worried about it. I'm trying not to judge it based on what I wanted it to be and see how it is. And how it is, it's got a really good beginning, an okay middle, and it ends pretty strong. I can't really, I guess I'd rather have that than it be consistently like not great, or just have that middle part be great and the beginning and end suck. Because at the end of the day, the fighting is just kind of like secondary to the needs of the series overall, or this run overall. So I don't know. It's not over yet, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's still other threads that need to be tied.
Yeah.
Or seen through.
Yeah. What did you think, Josh?
It was more pretty much. I feel exactly the same as you, but I'll just say again how I was so wrong about a lot of the things I thought was going to happen in this event, and once I came to a realization that this again is not a manga, it's an American comic, and where this is gonna excel and really excite me and be good is in the details and in the writing and the dynamic between characters and implications for the future. That's always something to keep you, because that's why you keep reading comics, because you want to see what's next. So I think there's a lot more to come. I think that was the last issue in the event, but like you said, it's not totally finished. So
yeah, it
we'll
really
see.
is. That I would be disappointed.
It was fun. It was fun and got the ball rolling in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and there's a lot to think about. When Apocalypse would be back? What the
I can't believe he's just gone now.
Yeah, Apocalypse is off the board. Like one of the biggest X-Men villains, or say even characters, is just gone. Is just going to be gone for probably more than a year. I mean, we're not going to see him for a while. It's interesting, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I couldn't tell you what next event is going to happen in any capacity, but
mind if I could get some 2 cents in?
Sure, Brian.
So I just thought about this. Well, first off, let me talk about how I felt about the series. I think the first part was pretty fucking cool with everybody getting their swords and shit. That shit was cool.
Yeah.
When the actual challenges started, I was like, all right, this is pretty fucking corny. This is very disappointing. And I know like everybody, all of us were disappointed because we were expecting it to be more manga-like. I know I was. I'm not really that big of a fan of American comics myself, but I also did like how this ended. But I know this isn't like a manga thing or anything, but what I took out of this was, wow, this kind of felt like My Hero Academia in some aspects. And it kind of made me realize, because My Hero Academia is very heavily inspired by American comics, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder, wait, so is My Hero Academia's pacing an influence of American comics? Because when reading this, I was like, man, they really aren't like taking their time. Like they aren't like, putting things out. They aren't. And I remember us having this same conversation with My Hero Academia. I'm like, wait a second. Like
it's like this explosive storytelling, right?
Yeah, because we were expecting a manga, right? But we got an American comic. And then with My Hero Academia, we're expecting a manga, but it's more like an American comic.
Yeah, in certain aspects, because they still do the traditional, shonen archetypes well, especially with the combat and the development that you don't see on such a detailed level with most American comics, especially this X-Men event. But it had those vibes in the beginning. We had a lot of character-focused stories that gave them a lot of attention, and also rewarded readers for if they was already reading this series. Some of them. But for sure, ones like Excalibur and Cable and I guess Wolverine and X-Force to an extent.
Right.
But that's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, with My Hero Academia, sometimes they will kind of let things run by really fast and let the plot ride through their dialogue. I guess the same way they do in these X-Men events.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'd like to read My Hero Academia again from like the beginning. Like if they like I'm waiting for them to take that break at some point. Like, you know, that it doesn't even have to be a time skip. It could be like, oh, something big happened. Maybe it's just a few months that went by, but he's taking like a month off, right? Or you know, something like that.
Some shit like that.
So I'd love to go back and just read it straight through and feel the vibe because it's so different. And we got into My Hero Academia dumb early.
Yeah. My Hero Academia is like like now that I read this, like I think this is the first like thing that I've read like from like beginning to end. I think did X of Swords start with the whole like getting swords thing, or was
that was it? I mean, you know, obviously you have to these type of stories always reward readers who, you know, have enjoyed these characters for a long time prior to like, you know, these like their own authors runs. So it's kind of built in. It's kind of baked in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like the main takeaway like I got from this was like it kind of made me like appreciate American writing a little bit more. Just because like the middle part was a little off-putting for me, but like the way that they wrapped everything up was pretty interesting. And it also made me kind of like realize that My Hero Academia is more of a Japanese American fusion than anything else. Mm-hmm. Like it has influence from Japanese, of course. There's going to be a lot of tropes that they follow with that, but they also added their own mix of American writing, which is interesting.
Yeah,
like this really did open my eyes to other series and stuff like that.
For sure.
Word up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like at the end of the day, I guess I would recommend Ten of Swords as much as I would like the rest of this run. At this point, it's just like you're in or you're out with the X-Men books. It's gonna be tough to like catch up to everything. Marvel has actually been kind of smart about how they put these out. When they put them out in trades, they put them out like together, like in reading order, how they're supposed to be read.
Yeah,
and that's really smart of them. I hope they continue that trend, but yeah,
because it feels like it's all telling the story.
Yeah,
even if things are, you know what I'm saying, even if it ends up being more of like a scheduled thing, at least they're letting you know, no, these things happen in this order. Even if this is still a little bit far behind, there's implications in this one. It's just cool.
Yeah,
you like the direction and unification.
Yeah.
You read Powers of X and Dawn of and House of X, and then you read those, and then you get into Dawn of X in the first kind of the first handful of X-Men issues, and that's what hooks you. Mm-hmm. So an event like X of Swords was really dope because it showcased a lot of characters and stuff. But man, they got the ball rolling early on, and we're still kind of waiting for a lot of big shit to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, we move on to a new Dawn,
the
X-Men run, as we are now going to. Oh wait, by the way, I wanted to give Ten of Swords Destruction my certified very good issue of the week.
Certified VGI.
It was just such a pretty book too. I think mostly on the art standpoint, I was like, I can't stop looking at this book. It's gorgeous.